Hello, I am TJ, and this is Home with TJ. This is going to be a different format from my typical podcast that I've been trying to do because I feel like the podcasts I was trying to do were not very, how do you say, they weren't very like realistic. You could tell they were like edited and they felt very like robotic, I would say, and I was not really feeling that. So I decided, based on some of the other podcasts that I was really into, I'll try to do some other format like they do it. What they do is they do it all in one take, and it's pretty much just an actual video of their actual conversation. They don't edit any pauses or anything else out of it. It's just what it is, and that's what I want to do. The reason I want to do that is um well, I just feel like it's more relatable. For me, what I like in a podcast is I like to listen to people talk pretty much. And it's not necessarily like I want to gain anything from it. It's just I just want to hear people talk pretty much. There's no need for wanting some different knowledge. There's no emotional feel that I want to feel for listening to a different podcast or anything like that. It's just pretty much I just want to listen and I want to enjoy a conversation pretty much. And if I'm able to do that for you, then shoot, why not? So if you are here on YouTube, TikToks, Spotify, and anywhere else I'm probably going to post it, I want to thank you for joining my conversation and hopefully you'll tune in a little bit more. Don't get me wrong, I am going to do a little bit of edits because there's going to be some things I don't want you guys to hear me breathing like crazy pretty much. And, if I have like long pauses or anything coming up, I don't want to take too much of your time like that. Um, but yeah, sorry, um, it's my Stanley dupe, you know. Uh, you hear about all those kids that are getting bullied because their parents aren't buying them Stanleys. I don't really understand the I don't know all the hype behind the Stanleys because it's just a fancy cup. I can't justify spending all that money on um, yeah, just a cup pretty much. I got this tall. It's from Walmart. It's probably like what 15, $20, and it does the exact same thing. So I yeah, I'm not too worried about like brand names or anything as long as the function is there. And I hope other people can do that too. And because I do have a son and I'm a stay-at-home dad and everything. Eventually he's going to be going to school. I would like to teach him that uh other kids and everything they're gonna act up. They're gonna try to say things and do things to like bully or hurt him or anything. But I just want to teach him to be confident enough to not really care what other kids think. And I feel like with these newer generations that there's been a lot of bullying, and I'm like, dude, what is with all these kids thinking, they're above other people with their brands and everything, which it's been like that for a very long time because growing up, it was always about you had to have the newest Jordans, right? You had to have the actual Jordans. You couldn't have the fake ones. You couldn't have the older models or nothing like that. So there was definitely some other things that we did also, but I feel like because of social media and you know there's a lot more bullying in the world for some reason. I don't understand it. And it breaks my heart knowing that there's kids out here that are suffering with bullies, and I know a lot of them they they don't want to talk to their parents about it, or they don't want to tell the teachers or nothing because um, other kids are cruel, man. They'll use the whole blackmail thing, or oh, if you tell me, I'll tell them you said this or you did this, or just some kind of stuff like that. And I just think that's not cool. Yeah, I feel like these Stanley kids and everything are getting a little out of hand, but maybe it's just me. Um, I don't know. So my wife had a long weekend, and which means I kind of had a long weekend also. She was off from Thursday to yesterday, so today's her first day back at work, and that's kind of why I haven't uploaded in a few, maybe a week or so. And the last video that I recorded, it was really boring. I wasn't really feeling it, so that's why I'm just kind of redoing it now. We were gonna take the time to relax and everything, but we had a lot of other family obligations to do, so there wasn't a whole lot of just at home time for us. Excuse me. Yeah, we had a lot of company over the weekend too, and I it's not a knock on any family or anything, but it's like I see it a lot on TikTok. A lot of people are speaking about it now, that where they their families are getting their availability and their free time kind of mixed up. You know what I mean? And it's different for me also, because I grew up in a household where it's like, oh, the door's always open, so we didn't have any restrictions. We always had something going on, and that was okay. But honestly, man, it gets really tiring having to make sure the house is always clean 24/7, or make sure the dogs are always groomed, or we have to we're hosting, so we have to have food, or all kinds of stuff like that. We can't haven't really had a actual lazy days in a while, and I feel like everybody really needs to have like a lazy day. And I noticed that a lot of people have been trying to, like, what they do, they call it setting boundaries. They set boundaries with their family, and a lot of them, I feel like they may take it a little extreme, where they won't tell them their days off, or there's other things where they kind of prevent them from coming because they don't want them to come, and without actually telling them that they're not wanting the company or anything. And I feel like um getting older, I'm starting to understand that side of it. I because we just had our son. We just had a son, and his half birthday was last week, so he just turned 6 months, and we've been wanting to stay home with him. We want to take him to an aquarium, or just do something with him, for him, and we haven't been able to really do that because everybody kind of just schedules our time. Somebody takes part of our schedule, and we're not able to put us, our family, our little family of three first. You know what I mean? And it's not, like I said, it's not a knock on other family or anything, because we're always willing to help. We're always willing to, spend some time. But there comes a time where you just have to do your own family. You get married, you have kids. That's your family too now, and that's your main family. It's just what it is, I guess. Yeah, so we haven't really had much time to relax, and it is kind of rough, but we make do with what we can. And then yeah, like I said, we've been wanting to take our son on, not on, but we want to take him to like an aquarium or something. We want to take him to look at animals or look at things, pretty much. And because we live in Arizona, it's so hot, we're not able to. It's not we're not able to. We'd prefer to do indoor activities rather than be outside in the heat. And this year it was like every other year. It's always very dramatic when the heat finally kicks in. So um, yeah, his favorite movie is Encanto, and we watched this movie on freaking repeat. I don't understand when he decided that this was going to be his favorite movie, but it could be worse. He could like some other things, and it's not like we like. It's not like he's like an iPad kid or anything like that. But when we need to make food, when we need to use a bathroom, or when we need to clean the dishes, when there's things we need to do, then we'll put the movie and everything on for him. This way, he'll be entertained enough to just not be kind of velcro-y. And it's not like he craves that kind of like the TV or anything like that. But a lot of other family, they try to give him their phones and they put on YouTube videos and a lot of like overstimulating things. And you can tell when he's really into it because as soon as they lock their phone or take it away, then you could see that he's visibly like upset. He gets really like mad. So um, we don't do a whole lot of other screen time, like tablets or phones or anything. We'll just put the movie and then he'll pretty much play on his own. It's kind of like his background sounds is what it is. He likes having it in the background, and every once in a while he'll just kind of like peek over and look and just kind of watch, you know what I mean? So he's not a complete iPad kid, and I hope that he won't be for the most part. He's a very active little guy, and I don't know. I don't know what he's going to be into when he gets older. I hope there's something that lets me and him still bond together. Um, when he was first born, we would read books to him. We still read books every here and there, but nowhere near as what we used to. We'll read a story or two, maybe like once or twice a week at most. Just because we always have something going on. We always have things to do. So the main thing we do is we do music time. And it's changed over the span of time that we've been doing it. But when before he was born, we would play music for him when he was still in my wife's belly and everything. So he had a song that he was very familiar with, something that would calm him down after he was born. So we play that song for him, and we'll sing to him a bunch of other songs and everything. But what uh what I ended up doing is I started playing music for him too. I can play the ukulele, and uh, I started trying to learn how to play the piano, but I haven't really had time to really dive into it again. Um, but I would play like live, like real music for him. This way, he knows that he has that FaceTime with it. It's not something that's just coming through the phone or coming through the TV or anything like that. There's an actual instrument that it comes from, and that's what I wanted to show him pretty much. And hopefully it's okay if he doesn't, but I hope he'll be interested in learning these things once he gets older. Um, but yeah, my wife went back to work today, and honestly, since she started working, it's been pretty rough, I would say. Um, Before she started working again, it was me and her took some time off between work. She was really sick, so she wasn't able to work anyway while she was pregnant. So after she graduated from school, she got a job, and then maybe like 5 6 months later, she couldn't work anymore. She was too sick through the pregnancy, so um, she was kind of like homebound at that point. And then yeah, I really wasn't feeling my previous job either anyway, so I wasn't pressed about taking the time off or anything like that. So when it came time to have the baby and everything, um, yeah, I took advantage of all the time. I took my paternity leave, which my job they gave us 4 weeks. You had to use the full week. It wasn't like here or there. And they really didn't want you to do it consecutively either. They wanted to do it in weekly increments, but I was not having any of that. And I used because I do have chronic pains and everything, and I had some time off pretty much. I would take advantage of all that just the way I was able to physically recover and get ready for fatherhood, and take care of my wife also. So I from the beginning of December all the way up until the middle end of January. That was my last, I would say, like month ish of work, which it was all PTO pretty much. I didn't have any. Um, I went back to work, like physically went back into work on a Tuesday, and my last day was on a Friday. I put in my notice that I was leaving, and um, my wife and I we had been planning for a couple years anyway, so it wasn't a surprise. And financially, we were prepared for whatever we were going to do next. So it wasn't really a big thing. We weren't too pressed about. Um, the only thing we were really pressed about was the insurance, getting all the bills paid. But because we were covered during that time, we're able to get everything taken care of. But all the billing and everything, they always play games. They try to change all the prices after so often, and they will have to recalculate for everything. So um, just going back and forth with the billing department of these freaking hospitals, it's crazy. But everything's taken care of, and yeah. So yeah, she went back to work a few months ago, and I think that's when she realized that she wasn't really the feeling her career path. She was, and honestly, I wasn't really feeling the whole working for a company either. And we've been really wanting to start a business, but um, it's really hard trying to decide what we want to go into. And for me, I want to do something very like least invasive as possible. So I don't want to do any like retail or food pretty much. I would, if possible, I would like to do like a providing a service of some sort. But it's just finding what that we're having a real tough time with. Because trying to find the for one, trying to find the time to do any of the stuff, it's pretty tough, I would say. I think that's what I underestimated about being a dad, and becoming a stay at home dad is how much time that I'm not going to have to do. Um, I don't know other things, focus on goals or anything, but it's possible, and I definitely think that I'll be able to do it, and I definitely think that my wife will be able to do whatever she wants to do also. So um, it's just all about time management and trying to figure out what we're gonna, how we're gonna do it. But yeah, I don't know what kind of business I want to do. So if you have any suggestions, I would love to hear them. We thought about doing like I think one of them was like a hair spa kind of thing, but I think a couple of those have recently opened, and like I said, I want to stay as far away from like the restaurant business as possible. I don't want to do any kind of like food or coffee shop kind of things, and I don't want to do retail. I don't want to sell clothes or any of that, but I do feel like there's a good market in clothing though. Um, I noticed that a lot of people they go for like designs and stuff, and as I noticed as people get older, they start to um, prioritize comfort over the aesthetic is what the younger people are calling it, or how things look. So um, I've been trying to think of ways that I can if I were, if I were to do like a clothing or something like that, I would do something like something comfy and functional. If so nothing like thick, nothing like too heavy or anything either. Something like comfy, like breathable, and something that you could really just that's actually functional. And so, not something see through, not something that's like that's gonna rip or anything. Something that's like lightweight, lightweight and comfortable, and still provides that I don't know, security. Like it's not see through, it's not going to rip, it's not going to break, or nothing like that. Or you don't have to worry about getting it dirty because they're everything that I look at. It's crazy expensive. And then I was also thinking too about like because I am going to be hopefully going into the medical field at some point. Um, like comfortable scrubs. I do a lot. I've seen a lot of research about these scrub brands, and they're just like very uncomfortable. It's like the either the fit's wrong, the materials are too, they're not comfortable enough, they're too thick, which I get it. You're going to be exposed to a lot of things, so you need to have like a um, like a medical grade kind of um fabrics and stuff. But I feel like there's other things that people can use that are able to, they're more comfortable. They'll make being at work, because they're going to be working long hours and everything. Being at work, just at least a little more bearable. At least you're comfortable. And um, I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but I feel like there's a lot more people coming out with their brands that they go straight for their design, and they're comfy for a week, and then they're not very comfortable anymore after a couple washes, or they fall apart pretty quick because they source through like what, like AliExpress or Alibaba or something. And um whatever material, it was nice for maybe a few washes, but then it starts falling apart or pilling or something like that. And they're making a killing off of like the whole how much they're actually getting um making off of the shirts, so, or making off the clothes or anything. So I just feel like there's if I'm able to get the right formula correct, I feel like it'd be pretty successful. But it's just about finding the right formula, the right um I don't know, combination of things. But anyway, those are just something I was thinking of. And I also thought about trying to get into like like script writing or um something like that, because I've always been really good at writing, and I've never been good at speaking or anything. That's what kind of why I'm doing this, so I can develop some communication skills and learn, just kind of learn how to talk. And what I really excelled at growing up was writing. I was always very good at writing. So um, and then once I got into like high school and I got into theater and things like that, I did a lot of studying about that. And I really feel like script writing would be something that I could excel in if I really applied myself to it. But I don't know. Not. I don't want to say I'm not the most creative guy out there or anything. I'm also not the most entertaining guy, obviously. But um, it's just something I was thinking about, thinking of different ways I can supplement. Even just trying to help my wife go part time or something like that. Um, this way, because I am a stay at home dad, and I feel like my wife also deserves the time to to be at home and just spend time with our son as he's growing up. And I don't know. I feel like if there's a way I can help also, then I would like to. And because I am a stay-at-home dad, we do save a lot of money on because we don't have to pay for childcare or anything like that. That's one of the most that's like a super expensive thing right now. A lot of people, they can't afford it. And, thankfully I'm in a position where I can, stay at home and take care of my son and raise him and everything. And, it's, yeah, I'm very fortunate to do that. And I just want to be able to help my wife get to a place where she can, work less and just enjoy her time with me and our son. But yeah, um, this is like one of the first podcasts that I'm going to be doing like this. you know, it's a little different than the ones that I do watch myself. You know, one of the one of my favorite ones is a Joe Rogan podcast, Joe Rogan Experience, just because he's very versed in a lot of different topics. And I saw another he was on another podcast where he likes to um he doesn't do one he's not one specific in one niche or anything like that. He likes to talk about a bunch of different things. And he doesn't he the thing that I have with him is that he doesn't have any solo podcasts, but the conversations he has with all of his guests, they're really interesting. And it's very flowy. It doesn't seem scripted or it doesn't seem forced or anything. He just has a good conversation with somebody. And he likes to he said, he wants to spread kindness and happiness to people. And you know and I honestly, I really admire that about him, because he doesn't need to do the podcast at all. And the way he plans out his content is very like strategic. He plans it out very far in advance. This way he doesn't have specific, like, one niche or one area of expertise, and one like a far left side, then he has a far right side. He'll spread it all out. This way he everything is evenly dispersed, and he can accommodate the interests of everybody pretty much. And I really like that. And another one that I do really enjoy is Theo Vaughn's this past weekend. Um, I was watching some of his first episodes that he put on. And he started out just like everybody else. He started out in a closet, and then eventually he started taking the videos and posting them. And now when he was first starting out, and now he's freaking huge. And the same thing with him. He just kind of he just has conversations and just vibes pretty much. He doesn't try to force anything. And obviously he tries to incorporate like his comedy and just what he thinks into his podcast. And he actually has some solo podcasts where he does do a lot of his his opinions, his comedic opinions, or just thoughts that he has, what he's done. you know and I really enjoy the conversations that he has, what he puts on. And then there's excuse me, there's one other podcast that I'm a huge fan of. It's the Fake Doctors Real Friends. It's the Scrubs Rewatch podcast. And one of my best friends, he's also a big fan of the Scrubs TV show. And growing up, me and him had always had that brotherly like relationship that the two main characters have. And then when COVID hit, they started their own podcast. They were doing the Scrubs Rewatch podcast. And it's the same thing. It's a very constant thing that I like with them, is they just have conversations that flow. And they obviously try to script it out a little bit more, because they have to work around the TV show. So they're gonna have at least 20 minutes to speak about the TV show, but um they also have their own side conversations. They plug their projects, things that they're doing on the side also. And it's just a good time listening to them because they're also just having a good time talking to each other, and that's something that I um I really enjoy. What I would do is I would just put these podcasts on at work and I would just listen because I would much rather listen to some of these people than talk to some of the people I worked with. And if going on a long drive, I would throw on the podcast or, coming home from work, throw on the podcast. It's always interesting to just have that kind of, I don't know, not human interaction, but just to hear how people articulate what they're thinking and what they feel about stuff while also being entertained by the topics they're talking about. So that's what I really want to get into. And yeah, I think that's all I really have for this time. Um, I don't know what else I have. I'm on YouTube, TikTok, Spotify. I'm working on getting onto like Apple Podcasts or whatever anywhere else I can get onto. Pretty much. Um, and if there's any other topics anybody wants to hear about, anybody wants to talk about or anything like that too, I'm more than willing to do some research, talk about it a little bit, or post my thought about everything. Um, yeah, you can find me YouTube, TikTok, and Spotify. Home with TJ, and yeah, that's all I have for today. So thanks.